It is Nuke The House. Hey, coming off a win week there, Tyler. Told you those 3 weeks I was in hell, purgatory, had some personal stuff going on. Worst 3 week stretch of my life. Looks like we're back. We had a nice week last week. You're cooking, Keg's cooking, Nuke the House is cooking. Great time to get in for a free week. NukeTheHouse.com/pricing. Use the code NUKEWEEK for 1 free week. Woo! This should be fun, man. We're getting down to the knee. The team's got 4 games left, man. So we always say the season went fast. Season went fast.
Season went really fast.
Yeah, we're there.
I remember week 1 we were doing the show. We were talking about ladder and golden up. I don't think you ever even got there throughout the year.
I remember those days. That was a long time ago. Friend. But here we go this week, week 15. I got a couple plays. Like I said, I'm just going to condense my bets at this point. I don't want to go more than 3 a week. I think I was just getting crazy with it. I'm going to stick with 3 a week. Got a couple to talk out with you. And then I want to start, though. I got 2. You got 1. I'm going to start with, and I love these bets. Like, usually I like the bets a lot. Like, hey, this is going to happen. I love these bets. Kamani Vidal over 7.5 carries. Hank Aaron's great-grandson. Kamani Vidal. He's going to go out and hit a home run this week, buddy. So last week, it was basically a split with the running back touches as far as rushing goes. Vidal was out there 69-31% of the time. I expect Hampton to get more work this week, but we're also working on a short week, right? So Hampton comes out, plays his first game. Now we're working on 6 days rest. I still think, given how good Vidal has been, that Vidal gets his 8 or 9 carries in this game. Now, it opened on Caesars at 7.5 to the over at +110. I just checked it. It's down to even money now. So some money is coming in on the over at this point. But just because Hampton's back doesn't mean that Harbaugh is going to forget about Kamani Vidal. He did say it's tough to predict who's getting stuff, but I have a hard time predicting that Hampton's just going to go out and get 20 touches running. I don't see it happening. I see both players being targeted in the passing game. Hampton more. Vidal's receiving line is super low. I thought I saw 3.5. It's almost.
What do you think about the other running backs receiving line? Hampton, his is set at 11.5. Yeah. Mind you, did just come back last week.
Yep.
He had 2 targets in the passing game, and he had both catches for 11 yards, and he caught his touchdown through the air. You look at his game logs before that: 6 catches on 6 targets, 5 catches on 5 targets, 6 catches on 7 targets, all up over 20 yards in 2 games over 30, and 1 game almost at 60. He set his line at 11.5, Holden.
Yeah, I got 10.5.
He might get that 1 catch.
Yeah, you're right. I can't tell you you're wrong. I looked at him too. I looked at Vidal in the passing game. Do you like the yards or do you like the receptions for Hampton?
I think I'd rather take the yards.
Yeah, it could hit. I like the Vidal side of this right now.
I like the Vidal rushing line because I think they're going to – me personally, I think they're going to win this game. I think they win the game outright as 4-point dogs. I think they're relying on the run game. They're not going to give Hampton 20-some carries in his second game back. They're going to keep Vidal in the mix. He should be good for 10 to 12 carries in this game in a winning script. So I like that call on his carries.
Okay. Yeah, that's what my bet is then. Kamani Vidal, it's got to be even money since we're recording this. That's where it is at Caesars. Listen, if they pop a 6.5 -1, even up to 120, I will get back in on it. I can't believe I'm going to put 2 units down on it, but I don't see anybody putting it at 6.5 with anything 120 or less juice-wise, and I don't like laying -120. I just don't see where Vidal is not involved again, and I don't see where they're going to run Hampton out there for 18, 19 carries. Last week, it was a share. Maybe he gets a little more. Maybe he stays where he was because he's coming back. He finally got beat up in a game, and now it's a little bit of a shorter week. So Vidal's my play. Hey, smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the NTH Sports Picks YouTube channel. Tyler, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to go straight to the Buffalo New England game, which is going to be the big game of the week. I think Diggs is going to be in for another big game. He had 12 targets in their last matchup, 10 catches for 146 yards. The way their defense lines up, like, yeah, you can move Christian Gonzalez and these guys around, but they tend to cover the outside. Diggs will run all these underneath routes and just get pelted with these drag routes, these little across the middle routes, and that's how he'll get his yards. And 49.5 seems really low here for a guy that they brought in the offseason who's supposed to be their number one, coming out of a bye week when they talked about getting him more work. Yeah. And all his incentive stuff just came out across Twitter. So he needs, 6 catches for his $500,000. He's closing in on his 1,000 yards. Of course, he's not going to get 300 yards in this game, but they're slowly going to start to tick away on these stuff for him. So I like it over 49.5 in a big game. You go to your best players in big games.
Will they continue to go at him again? And will the Patriots allow him to get worked as much as he did in that first game? That's my only question. Do they go out and give him 12 targets again? But he doesn't need 12 targets to get the
I think
6 yards.
Yeah, we don't need 12, but if they're going to cover him the way they did in that game and just let him come across the middle, it's going to be easy for him. So I like this matchup against the Buffalo defense.
I'm going to go with
made a little bit of a mistake in my breakdown when I talked about Christian Gonzalez. He's not lining up against his teammate.
No, and then I was just going to let it go, but that's okay. Thank you for correcting yourself and being transparent. Also, I hope Cardi B's at the game. I'd rather see Cardi B at a game than Taylor Swift. Cardi B is hotter.
Not going to argue that.
Okay, very good. We both agree on Cardi B being better looking than Taylor Swift. Next one to go to. All right, so it was either 2 or 3 weeks ago I got burned. Isaiah Likely, anytime touchdown. You remember I gave this out. I think it was around plus 260 a couple of weeks ago. The guy catches a 70-yard pass and ends up fumbling at the goal line, and I lose the money and I lose the bet. Last week, he's in the end zone. I don't know why the hell it wasn't a touchdown against the Steelers. They said he didn't need a football. He didn't make a football move. What kind of football move do you need to make in the end zone?
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me because just for 2 examples here, if he's on the 50-yard line and that play happens, they review it, and the Steelers have the ball going the other way. If that safety doesn't have his arms wrapped around him and he's fighting for the ball, and let's hypothetically put him on the other side, and he's coming at him like a missile about 100 miles an hour, he decapitates Likely. Likely's knocked out in the end zone, but caught the ball, put his 2 feet down, the play ended. They're going to reward him that touchdown and then scrape his body off the field. They cheated that team on Sunday, and I'm a Steelers fan.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me how that was not a touchdown. I know Sterator's on there saying, well, he didn't make a football move. What the hell football moves is supposed to make? He caught the ball, he made 2 steps.
And then the interception where Rodgers threw the ball, it got tipped straight up in the air. Rodgers has 1 hand on the ball. The defensive lineman has 2 hands on the ball, and they said Rodgers was down. How does that work?
I don't know. Plus 230, though, half a unit unlikely this week. Not going a full unit, but there's nobody worse than the Bengals against the tight ends. And this is just a team you want to consistently target. They have given up over a touchdown a game to the tight end position, 1.15 to be exact. The second most touchdowns per game given up is by Washington at 0.69. So this is just a historically bad defense against the tight end position. You can go Mark Andrews if you want to. I'm taking the 230 on Likely, and hopefully this thing cashes. Okay. You wanted to talk about Houston a little bit, and this is not a player prop thing, and maybe it will be on the defensive side, right? But talk to me about the Houston Texans this week and what you're noticing.
No, I think they have the best pass rush in football with those 2 edge rushers and Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. I mean, you can't double team both guys on each side, and they wreak havoc in games. That side of the Cardinals line that Will Anderson's going to line up for the most part over top of is absolutely putrid. That's where all the pressure comes from on Brissett. He could literally just wreck this game all by himself, Holden. I don't see sack lines for him yet. They don't make these juiced to the gills like they do other props. His 1+ sack is probably going to be like minus 115 to minus 120. And you get in on the 2 at probably 2-1, 3-1. I'll be on both of those. I don't think they go much higher than 2, but I could see both those guys getting 2 sacks. Maybe even they both get a strip sack, and they just wreck this game against Arizona to where Arizona's offense can't get going because He drops back, and these guys are all over him. So
Yeah.
I like those two in the sack market this week.
Yeah, I want to wrap this thing up with a little conversation I heard today. It's the most asinine thing. I was in sports radio for 25 years. Okay. I never really enjoyed listening to it, but my Bluetooth wasn't working in my phone. So I was like, screw it. Let's see what the guys are saying about the Broncos and the Packers. And I turn it on. The first thing I hear out of this guy's mouth, guy that I think knows football too. Bo Nix is better than Jordan Love. And I'm saying to myself, all right, this is a homer. This is a guy that covers the Broncos, followed the Broncos his whole life. And Cecil Lammey, as a matter of fact. What up, Cecil? Big fantasy guy. Respect his work. What the hell is he talking about, though? Like, I'm a Bo Nix guy, too. I like Bo Nix. But to see the inaccuracy down the field with Nix, and everybody's taking the Packers on the money line, they're playing the juice with it. That's fine. You know, I threw in a parlay, Packers +4. I think this game's going to be within a field goal. And I don't want to lay the juice on the money line, but to say that Bo Nix at this stage in his career is better than Jordan Love is asinine. I know Love has his faults, but Nix has to learn how to play quarters 1 through 3, and he needs to start hitting deep balls. Not that he can't do that going forward. He hasn't even played 2 seasons, Tyler, and I know all you guys hate him, but to say he's even on the same level as Jordan Love right now is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
No, I totally agree with you. I don't think he's anywhere on the level of Jordan Love. And me personally, I've never liked the guy from his time at Auburn. I never thought he was going to be a good quarterback, and here we are in the NFL. So 2 college teams later and an NFL team later, I still don't think the kid's good. But
yeah,
they got a really good defense. They could ride that defense out. I don't think they could win the Super Bowl, though. One question I got for Sunday's game, though. They probably put Surtain on Watson, right? Because Watson runs a lot of the outside the number stuff.
Yeah, I don't think he shadows anybody.
He's he probably just takes a side of the field and just says, this is mine.
If there's one guy that takes the hit this week, it's definitely Watson.
Now, they probably let Moss cover Romeo Dubes or Wicks, whoever's on the other side outside the numbers.
Yeah.
Your weakness is in the slot.
Yeah.
Jaden Reed +380 to score a touchdown in his second week back. Yeah, I'll be on that again this week.
Oh, boy. Jaden Reed, almost 4-1. You're taking a Jaden Reed touchdown.
Yep, we'll be on Jaden Reed this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see Dobbs getting some work, too. He's just not a big play threat. In my estimation, he's just not as fast as Watson.
Yep.
And he's not as fast as Reed. Watson's such a stud, isn't he?
He's so fast.
Wow.
It'd just be nice if he could run other different routes. He's just straight up and down the field.
He is. He definitely is. I want to talk about one more game, then we'll get out of here. This Vikings-Cowboys game. By the way, I think the Vikings are in play here to cover this 6.5. No doubt. I get it. The Cowboys defense has been better. They brought in Quentin Williams. They've actually been better against the run, too. But isn't Jordan Addison or Justin Jefferson even in the mix to have a big game? No? Am I just completely out of line here, even though J.J. McCarthy sucks?
That's your biggest problem right there is that them wide receivers can get wide open. It's the fact that the quarterback can't get them the ball.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a defense whose run defense improves, so there's going to be no run game here for Minnesota. Yeah. And the defensive backs for Dallas, for as many yards as they give up, they do take chances. That's why they give up the yards. They try and get pick sixes. They try and get big plays. Tell me that ain't a recipe for a defensive touchdown against J.J. McCarthy. He leaves one up in the air, Bland or Diggs snags it and just runs away.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's the worst thing. The problem is the Cowboys only have 5 picks this year, but it is J.J. McCarthy we're talking about, right?
I think I can't bet on J.J. McCarthy. I'll say that.
No, you can't bet on J.J. McCarthy. This guy's a disaster. The Vikings are in a lot of trouble, by the way. We know this. The Vikings are in a ton of trouble. If you wanted to look at a defensive special teams touchdown, I mean, you can go to Seattle. They got Phillip Rivers this week.
My thing about that one, though, is I don't think he was never known as a really just lay it out there kind of guy like Flacco is, where it's just I'm just going to whip the ball around. If I throw 4 picks, it is what it is. I think they just try and run the ball and play it safe. If they lose, they lose. I mean, his passing prop's 150 yards, Holden. I don't think he puts the ball in the air much.
Jonathan Taylor rushing props as far as attempts. I mean, he's 72.5. His attempts is 20.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was one stat that came across. Seattle hasn't given up a 100-yard rusher in like 20-some games.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting 100.
Yeah. And now they know what to do and just stack the box and make Rivers beat you. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, one more thing, actually, because you and Maddie both love the Steelers but hate the Steelers. It's like you're diehard fans. Then you just hate them because you don't think they're any good. They've got Miami this week, don't they? It's 3 points, and it's at home, and it's going to be cold. Tua, 40 degrees or colder, 0-5. 45 or colder. He's 1-11, 45 degrees or colder. I don't want to invest in their offense. I know you think Waddle could have a game, and he could, but you don't want to take the Steelers. I think 3 points, man. I think they win this thing by more. The Dolphins have beat up on the Sisters of the Poor. Now, to have any shot of getting back in the playoff race, they had to make this run. And I talked about this. They had the Jets. They had the Saints. They just had a whole bunch of bad teams that they had a chance to play. You think the Steelers are a bad team. I think a bad team is like a 4 out of 10 or worse. I think the Steelers are like a 6.5. They're an above average team, and this Miami team is more like a 4. I think that the Steelers cover the 3 this week. I really do. And I know you hate the Steelers, but given every issue that Tua has had in the cold weather, the fact that there is something left with the Steelers, they went out and beat the Ravens. I'm against you this week. I think that Miami is going to lose by a touchdown or more.
I will answer that, and my rebuttal will be good luck with that, Holden. Because if you said here's $100, here's an early Christmas present, you can only bet this on the Steelers. I just give it back to you.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's like that breakdown you had. It's flawless. It makes perfect sense. It hit every bulletin point on why the Steelers should win the game. Ball it up, throw it in the trash because none of that stuff's going to work on Monday night. It's all going to go out the window. Somehow, Tua is going to be Joe Montana in the cold. Their offensive line is going to be the best in the league.
No.
It's going to be fun.
No, not at all. It's not. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be a gross game. All right, pal. Great stuff. Tyler, always good hanging with you. Hopefully you'll be on Sunday. If you get a chance, stop by the live show. We start at 1:00 Eastern. We'll go right.
I know you didn't want to talk about Thursday night football. I just have one dart.
All right, because by the time people watch this,
just one dart, Holden. Mike Evans touchdown plus 170. When are we getting plus 170 on a Mike Evans touchdown?
Because he's not going to play as much. But
doesn't matter. When he plays, it's going to be in the end zone. He's
let him be a red zone target.
Yes, I will take a plus 170 on a 6'6" wide receiver. When Ibuka can't catch a touchdown to save his life, Godwin's only running slants. They could really only run the football from there. Yeah, give me Evans a plus 170 against his defense.
Boy, you make some great points right there. You make some great points right there, pal. All right, I'll dig into it. Tyler, always good to see you, my friend. Where can they follow you on Twitter?
X? At TH412 with an underscore after that.
Oh, that's not easy, pal. You got to remember.
I know. I wanted just the TH412, but somebody else has it.
Bastard.
And it's a dormant account. I can't even message him and buy it off of him.
You can follow me at Holden Kushner on X. Let's go nuke these bets. Nuke the props is in the books.